Hello, my name is Stephen Thomas, and welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to add and remove SOAP envelopes using Azure API Management. This is a great way to front your Logic apps with a SOAP interface so you can maintain interactions with legacy systems. A lot of systems that are migrated from BizTalk still communicate with SOAP. There's a few different ways to handle SOAP inside of API Management and inside of Logic Apps, but I found simply removing the envelopes and keeping all your Logic App service calls to be RESTful interfaces seems to be a great approach. With that, let's jump in and see how we can remove our SOAP envelopes using API Management.
Okay, let's jump in and take a quick look at how to add and remove SOAP envelopes from inbound service calls using API Management. So first off, why would you want to do this? So a lot of legacy BizTalk systems still talk in SOAP, and when you're moving these into Logic Apps does not natively speak SOAP. It can definitely handle SOAP, and API Management has a couple different ways to handle SOAP messages, but what I found is in my real life experience, sometimes these tools they provide kind of fall short, and I have to kind of handle the SOAP envelopes manually. So in this case, I'm going to take a look at how to add and remove SOAP envelopes using API Management. It's quite simple, actually. I just have API Management set up here. I just have an API set up here that is a post, and on the back end over here is just my Logic app. I have other videos that kind of walk through setting up, exposing Logic Apps, standard and API Management. So I won't focus on that, but here's just simply calling that endpoint. The work here is done in the inbound and outbound processing. And let's simply dive in here and take a look. Let's give us a little more room. And in the inbound policy, I have some logic here that is stripping out the body element of the payload and simply passing that forward. So it's removing the whole SOAP envelope and all its headers, and then routing it to the backend service, just like we would expect. And we'll go ahead and jump out of here and go into outbound processing, even though it was in that same segment that I was looking at. But here in outbound, I'm doing the opposite. I'm taking the inner message, which is returned from my Logic app, and adding that SOAP envelope. So whatever your SOAP envelope needed to be, you can simply add it here in these instructions and simply pass it back to the calling service. So using this approach, I'd be able to add Logic apps that are a RESTful-based Logic app that don't have SOAP envelopes and still be able to leverage them with our legacy endpoints that do communicate with the SOAP protocol. So that makes it very easy here. Now, one thing that I will point out is this is set up at the individual API level here. Outbound processing, if the service itself was for one particular vendor and all the SOAP outbound envelopes or inbound envelopes were the same, because they come under here under all operations, define it under all operations if you would like. So let's see this execute. Just have a generic message here. It'll take any message as input and just return the SOAP body. And in doing so, it returns the SOAP message as well as we would expect, this simple response message. I can jump over to my helper workflow here and take a look at what our inputs and outputs were. And this one just ran now. So let's see here. And inside this Logic app, let's check our input parameter here under HTTP. And sure enough, you can see that the body is just the order message with no SOAP envelope around it. And then I compose my response, which is just my simple response message. And that's what I send back. And we can confirm in Postman. And sure enough, we can see in the response that the SOAP envelope has been added. So this is just a quick overview of how to add or remove SOAP envelopes if you need to front your Logic apps and interact with what would probably be legacy systems from a BizTalk migration. So thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.